everybody glad that the summer shows are about over and we're getting ready to get into the real TV shows? So I like watching TV myself, but in the summer it's kind of harder to keep yourself entertained because the shows aren't quite as good. So you end up having to watch stuff that just makes you feel better about yourself. You ever seen this TV show with all the people that just fill their house with trash? They collect stuff, and they can't stop collecting stuff, and they think it's important and valuable, so they won't throw it away, and eventually it's like filling up their hallways, and like they have to walk sideways to get to their bedroom. And then that's, of course, not enough. They got to put it in their yards, too, so they got like a washing machine out in the yard and cars and all that kind of stuff. You seen this show? On the show they call the people hoarders. You know, but psychologists have different names for them. Sometimes they're called compulsive collectors. You know, if you're in Middletown, they call them people. Ordinary neighbors. It's probably not right for me to pick on the hillbillies. You may not be able to tell it by looking at me, but I am a hillbilly. Enough generations removed that I've lost the accent, but I am a hillbilly. And, you know, I think sometimes we don't get recognition for the fact that our people have had to overcome a lot of historical disadvantages. You know, like back when they rounded all of us up and made us live on reservations. You might know them as trailer parks, but to us, the reservations. It still hurts as much, you know. And really, there's only two ways off those reservations. Well, other than the tornado, of course. There's only two ways off the reservations. One is to hit the lottery, and another one is to take a job up in Ohio. So my grandpa, he wasn't stupid. He added the odds up and was like, yeah, I better take that job in Ohio. So I was lucky that they moved up here, and I was able to be raised here and grow up without the hindering accent. But of course, now the family members that are left behind, they do the same calculation. They're like, yeah, right, job in Ohio. I think I'll just take the 40 Powerball tickets. And a carton of Marlboros, that way that can add to the irony next week when I complain that I don't have enough money for my kids' back to school supplies. But I am the first person in my family to graduate from college. Thank you. I'm also the only person in my family who can say the word college without putting the word fancy in front of it. I learned how to do that off at some fancy college. I'm also the only person in my family that can say the name of a disease without putting the word "the" in front of it. Like, I'll go and visit my grandparents. I say, "Did you hear about your great Uncle Fred? He's got the cancer." That's too bad. Heard about Aunt Mildred? She's got the Alzheimer's. Heard about your cousin Bruce, didn't you? He's got the gay. Real bad. Think he caught it from that guy he's living with. I tell him he's never going to get rid of it if he doesn't stop watching the Bravo all the time. And, you know, it's not only that, but when they say the disease, half the time they don't even say the disease right. You know, like, it's not really the Alzheimer's, it's the Alzheimer. She don't remember nothing, she got the Alzheimer. Or it's not even diabetes, it's, oh, I can't eat that, I got the sugars. Yeah, some of you guys know people with the sugars. A few years ago, my dad had prostate cancer, but he thought he had prostrate cancer. Which I guess is the kind you get from laying on your face too much, I don't know. He got over it, though. You know, I am glad that my grandpa moved out. Sometimes, you know, I go back to the old family reunions every 5 or 6 years, and I'm reminded there's a lot of people that never made it out. You know, and I don't forget them. Every once in a while at a barbecue, I'll pour out some of my 12-ounce Bud Light, say from my Hillies. Okay, that one's going to need a couple explanations here. White people, come over here for a second. There's an African-American tradition where they pour out the first drink of their 40-ounce, and they say, "For my homies," in honor of people that aren't there. You know, like to welcome. All right, black people. When I said 12-ounce Bud Light, that's the size of bottle that white people drink out of.